do believe we're trying to get this meeting live streamed, but as always, there's some technical difficulties. And as everyone knows, the board approved in this budget this year to repair and replace the audio system that's in this boardroom, and eventually that will happen. So I just wanted to make that announcement that, technical difficulties sometimes occur. So, we'll call the meeting to order. Please rise for the invocation. I'll pass the right on, and please stand for the pledge of allegiance.
Let us pray. Gracious Father, we thank you for this day you blessed us to see. We thank you for life, health, and strength. We thank you for bringing us together again. We pray now that you bless this meeting, that you would direct everything that's said and done. Let it be pleasing before you, God. As you gave Solomon wisdom how to operate and run a country, give our commissioners and mayor the wisdom they need to make the right decisions. Bless the people of this area. Bless the people in the U.S. as we work through challenges that we're facing, floods and storms. Strengthen us on every side. We place our lives in your hand, and we know that you'll never leave us nor forsake us. So we thank you for the blessings that's going to come our way. It's in Jesus' name that we pray. Amen.
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 Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated, everyone. If there's anyone here that wants to speak during public comments, usually you need to sign up prior, but the sign-up sheet's right over there. As we get down through the agenda, if there's someone that wants to speak, that'll be good, but you gotta sign up on that sheet. Item 1, approval of agenda. Are there any deletions or additions?
Mr. Mayor, we would like to delete item C, appearance commission presentation. I would also like to add a closed session NCGS 143-318-11A3 to consult with the attorney on matters within the attorney-client privilege.
Okay, I have a motion that we're going to delete item 3C, Appearance Commission presentation. And we're going to add a closed session that will be after item 8, new business.
Motion to approve the agenda with the deletion and the addition.
Okay, we have a motion, have a second, all in favor? Seeing none opposed, motion carries, agenda is approved with those 2 changes. Item 2, official comments. Before Chancellor starts, I hope everyone has the opportunity to look at this long manager's report that's full of information. It truly, truly is. And it's gotten, this one is really long. It's got all kinds of extra stuff in this one. Go ahead, Chancellor.
Thank you, Mayor. And before I start, I would like to give an update on the upgrades in this room. We did the official walkthrough with the mechanical team and the construction crew today. And so we're scheduling the date. It'll probably be about a week and a half worth of work. So we're hoping that in between meetings, when you come back, I'm not going to say which one, but the viewing experience at home will be much, much better. And so we're actually lining everything up now. Okay, so for the manager's report, front page of it does have the Golfview Road closure information. We put out a manager's report, a press release about a week ago. We wanted at least 2 weeks or a week and a half of notice. But this Friday, August 8th at 7 p.m., extended through Monday, August 11th, portions of Golfview Road between Rockfish and Holman's Road will be closed. On this particular front page of the manager's report is a map that was shared on social media. We actually have it on all of our kiosks. DOT has several message boards around town, but this is the closure that we were talking about, and it does go live this Friday at 7. Also on the front page of the manager's report, our 9/11 tribute will be September 11th, 8:30 a.m. out front in the plaza. We invite all our residents to come give tribute with us. Tomorrow night here at Town Hall from 6 to 8 in the area where the gazebo is here is our National Night Out. Free family event, demonstrations, music, food, and games. That'll be here from 6 to 8 tomorrow. I would like to recognize our Hope Mills 10U All-Stars. They're top 4 in 2025 Dixie Golden Anniversary World Series. I'd like everybody to get them to stand up.
Oh, yes.
Chancellor, if that tropical depression comes in and we get too much rain, they're going to do the road closure next weekend.
Don did give me a quick update. DOT is tracking the tropical storm. If it does hit, they're gonna push that closure back to next weekend. So stay tuned for updates. We'll provide an update one way or the other to let everyone know it's still moving forward Friday, or if DOT actually changes it, we'll let everybody know. Back to the 10U All-Star. A lot of people don't realize we have 55 baseball teams here in our youth association. We won the World Series last year. And so every single year there's a team from Hope Mills coming. And I want everybody to know they need our support. And so throughout the year, we need people to attend the games. We may have a series of fundraisers over the next year to raise money and funds to help them with their travel, because somebody's going every year. On to the next page of the manager's report, and I'm giving you commercial development updates. The largest Wawa's travel center in America is close to opening off of Chickenwood Road here in Hope Mills. At this stage of development, they're putting icing on the cake. It should be open pretty soon, but they are barreling pretty fast toward a certificate of occupancy. Dirtbag Plaza is complete. The individual tenants are doing their internal upfits. Today, myself and several elected officials attended the ribbon cutting for Road Lease Acmeda, which is off of Tom Starling at 301. It's the industrial development that is opening in Hope Mills. One thing that resonated with us is almost all of the workers are from Hope Mills. They did make a commitment to hire local, and so that is something that the jobs, the annual salary is $49,000. They're projected to generate about $10 million in anticipated tax revenue over the years. So that's something a lot of people don't know, that industrial development and multifamily development has the highest return on tax value, which in turn reduces the amount of times that we need to possibly raise taxes. Third page is residential development updates. The fourth page, I actually wanted to highlight, I'm going to do this every meeting from now on. There's an individual department I'm going to highlight each time. This particular page is tied to Public Works, and it's the infrastructure update. When we talk about a constant push to concentrate on our infrastructure and our streets, a lot of people may not realize that in addition to the massive amount of DOT projects going on right now, in addition to 295, and in addition to developers coming in making their own required infrastructure improvements and residential new development doing streets, Don and Bruce from Public Works just did asphalt rejuvenation on over 27 separate town roads that we maintain, the older roads. It's a total of 72,000 square yards of asphalt rejuvenation done, and this is the level of work that we're talking about that is going on to ensure that as we grow, the infrastructure grows with it. It also gives you the street acceptance process of the 7 subdivisions that are going under construction right now. and it gives you the additional construction project update for East Patterson Street embankment, Woodland Hill Stormwater Project. We're making some improvements to the front of Town Hall, and we were just awarded $699,000 from FAMPO to put sidewalks on Cameron Road near the elementary school. Summer and spring events on the next page with Parks and Rec. We're highlighting our chamber on the page after that. The business breakfast is very, very powerful. We have them on the fourth Tuesday of every month, Army Health Meals. And as we will always do, the last 2 pages will include updates from NCDOT and FAMPO projects. Oh yeah, I did put a survey for, Dr. McCray is pushing for a mural through our arts and culture. That survey with the link to be able to use it digitally online was posted on our government page and our website. That is something that's powerful because it's 100% fully funded with grant money. And so that's something where it's another avenue we're taking to show our residents that we are trying to make improvements in ways that minimize the hit to our general fund. So that does conclude our manager's report for this evening.
Okay. Board member comments, I'll start with Commissioner Laird.
Glad to be back here tonight.
Excuse me, Mayor. I'm sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to remind everyone to use their mic since we're streaming from Facebook, so it captures all the audio.
Use your mic.
It's glad to be back with you tonight. Is that good?
Thank you, Commissioner Laird. Commissioner Graber.
Hello, everybody. It's good to see you again, and I hope this heat has not made you melt. So it's good to see you, and thank you for coming.
Thank you, Commissioner Marley.
I'd just like to say congratulations to our new police officer this morning, this evening, and thank Parks and Rec and everybody that was involved in putting the event on at the Parks and Rec this past Saturday. It was a very powerful, well-attended event. Just want to thank our staff for that. That's all I have.
Thank you, Commissioner Marley. Commissioner Sorolla.
Thank you, Matt. I also was at the Elevate Hope Mills. There was, 50-something vendors, 55 vendors, all different types. I'm talking about ones that had not just cakes, magically delicious cakes, but mental health vendors. Artist Village was there. United Bank was there. All different kinds. It was a great networking experience. It really helped, especially the small businesses, to get their faces out there. Heard nothing but good things about it. Of course, the Chamber of Commerce was there. So that was really good. With the Hope Mills Art Survey, one question, can we add the actual link? Because I know people who...
I added it about an hour ago. So in the original narrative, there's a link in there. So you can actually use the QR code or you can click on it.
Awesome, thank you. And then also, we got National Night Out tomorrow. Do we have any of these new police officers like to volunteer to be in the dump tank? Since you're held hostage right here now. No? No takers? No? No? Okay. And my one request to the fire department, the beginning of Lewis back there, please not flush the water out, because I hate water, in that nasty rusty water. But that's all I got. That's all I got. But it's good to see everyone tonight.
Thank you, Commissioner Squirrel. Mayor Pro Tem Dr. McCray.
It's good, like everyone has said, it's good to see everyone tonight, and the reminder about the arts, cultural, the mural, I'm glad that our town manager is confident that we already have the grant, but we are applying for a very competitive grant. And it's really important if you can give your input. Your input is what you want to see on the mural. So, if you would, we have a very short window, it'll be open for about 2 weeks, but if you can complete that as soon as possible, we would appreciate it. Again, the Elevate Hope Mills was wonderful. I would like to give a shout out to Ms. Shamblika Locke, who is the chair of the Hope Mills Chamber, and Crystal McLean from Crystal Clear Consulting, and our staff who have to help set up all of those tables, and do a walkthrough Friday night. There was a lot of work that went behind it, but it was well worth it. So it wasn't just businesses, like Commissioner Corolla said, it was resources, mentoring programs, Maxwell, people that had Maxwell certified training and for leadership training. It was a lot of different things, and that's just one part of it. Please keep a lookout for the financial management classes for citizens that will be offered for free of charge. And the next part of that will be classes for business owners or even people that are interested in entrepreneurship, to help you expand and grow your business, and also learn how to be vendors or working with the town. We like to see people, our own in our community, working and doing business with us. So there's a lot of things to this Elevate Hope Mills initiative, and so I just like to thank everybody that participated and all of the business owners and people that provide resources to the community. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Dr. McCray. I can't echo enough of the success of what Saturday was as a kickoff, showcase our community, the small businesses, profit and nonprofits. And what they brought to share in the rec center that day is a true partnership of our town. It truly is. Going forward, that partnership will only strengthen. It will only provide more opportunities and resources. For example, financial literacy, which is so desperately needed today in all walks of life, regardless if you're a business owner or not. And that partnership going forward will include another partner of our town called our Economic Development Committee. They are part of this initiative as well. As we go forward and we come together to showcase, and that's what this emphasis is. It's to inspire, but it's to elevate. The manager's report, one key part, and I want to just touch base with it, is I don't know how many times we have heard that our streets need to be improved. You're seeing the results. And a lot of this work that's being listed here was accomplished in the heat of summer. Not like it is tonight. This is really a testament to Public Works and the dedicated team of employees that work tirelessly, like all of our employees of this town, to deliver the best services possible to our residents. This is just a key part of what goes on in our town. And I wanted to really highlight that, because this is not a one and done. Now, we got something else that we're talking about too. And we're putting a committee together to address it. Chancellor, I guess he's gonna let me talk about it, and that's okay. We're finally gonna put a committee together, and we're bringing our DOT folks in, and we're gonna talk about how we're gonna maintain these gateways in our town. Because the one down at Walgreens, and y'all know which one I'm talking about, between Walgreens and McDonald's, the last time that strip was cleaned was myself and Commissioner Scarola. Not only did we do that strip, we did that hill on the Walgreens hill. I burned up all my batteries on my Craftsman weed eater doing it. So what's missing in this? DOT is supposed to take care of their roads, the ones that they own. So we're going to get together in the conference room, Chancellor's scheduling it, and we're going to talk it out. We're going to come to a resolution of who and how our gateways are going to be maintained in this town. And that's the way you solve it. You bring everybody to the table and let's go with it. But we need to clean it up. We need to have our grass, well, we're in August now, so we need to have it mowed and we need to have all this trash picked up. Last thing, today was a ribbon cutting for Rowley's Development Center. Chancellor talked about it in management report. I was really honored to be out there to see a ribbon cutting of an industrial site that has over 50 employees already hired. And I asked the general manager and the supervisors that were there, how many employees are from Hope Mills? What did he say, Chancellor? All of them except 2. There was a couple that came here from another location. They interviewed over 350 people for those jobs. And that is an initiative that this board approved some months ago. They were true to their word. And I know that a majority of them were there because we had a tour of the plant and spoke with a lot of the employees that are there today. And that is a very, very nice industry. You're going to see a big article come out, probably in the Fayetteville Business Journal, about the success of that business relocating actually here to Fayetteville. That's just an example of who we are and why businesses look to come here. National Night Out's tomorrow night. I hope everybody can attend. We've got a lot of different things coming up the rest of the month of August. There's something happening in Hope Mills every weekend. Somewhere there's an event happening. And I'll tell you, this board, we're just proud to be a part of it. That's all I have. I'm going to move on to presentations. Chief, under item 3, if you'll bring up, looks like Andy, Abigail, and Kristen. I'll meet you down bottom.
I'm going to introduce them now. So our first officer is going to be Christian Pena Duenas. He's an Army veteran with 10 plus years as a motor vehicle operator in a 2019 Afghanistan deployment. He retired in 2023. He has worked for the Fayetteville Police Department and Fort Bragg Security in the past. His wife Judith and his 2 daughters Sarah and Salome were unable to make it, but Christian, you come up, Christian. We're going to bring them all up at one time, right?
All of it.
Our next officer is Abigail Furlan. She's also an Army veteran with 6 years of service as an artilleryman, to include a deployment to Syria in 2019. Previous law enforcement experience, she was just a corporal with the Cumberland County Sheriff's Office before coming to us. She's here with her partner Jordan. And our last officer is Andy Brugg. He's a Marine Corps veteran with 8 years of experience. He served 2 years in Kabul, Afghanistan as a security contractor with the U.S. Department of State after his military career. He did 9 years of law enforcement with the Beaufort City Police Department, and most recently 6 years of service with the Hope County Sheriff's Office. His niece Nikki is here to hold the Bible with his sister Lisa and brother-in-law Scott. I got all that right? Good notes. Want to bring Nikki up?
All of you got family, they all come up. You got your family? If anybody wants to take pictures, you can come up here and take pictures. Swearing in the town is a family event. I say that in my 27 years of service to the Army. It's a family event to be sworn in. Okay. I'm going to read something too. I'm going to read this swearing in. When I say I, state your name, and the individual will say your name. And then you're just going to decide your name. Left hand on the Bible, raise your right hand. She's got it on the key part. She has it on the key part. I state your name. Do solemnly swear. That I will be alert and vigilant. To enforce the criminal laws of this state. That I will not be influenced in any manner on account of bias or prejudice. That I will support and maintain the Constitution and the laws of the United States and the Constitution and the laws of for the town of Hope Mills, accordingly to the best of my skills, abilities, and judgment. So help me God. Anybody wants to take pictures, come on up. Individuals and groups. Congratulations, welcome to our Oakland family. Okay, Chief, you're still up. Police Department operations update. Where are we at?
You mean with the 24-hour operation?
Where are we at? Yeah, with that one, with that and anything else?
Okay, so, as the budget was only approved July 1st, we had to hire the two officers so that we can promote the lieutenants, fill those positions so the patrol's not short. We hired one already. We have an interview, or a prospective candidate coming in on Wednesday. If that works out, then we'll set her up for an interview. So we expect to have that position filled soon. And we're all set room-wise. We have all of the computers, the furniture installed, the real-time crime center screens up and running. All of our license plate reader cameras have been installed throughout town, all the major arteries. Cameras at the schools are all up and running. Our Fusus cameras are up and running. And most recently, we partnered with and this is an issue that we're going to look to push to some other neighborhoods and homeowners associations, because we can't afford to put cameras in some of the neighborhoods that would like to have them. We offered our service of our vendor to them, and the homeowners association is purchasing their own flock camera, and we will be able to monitor it 24/7 at our real-time crime center. So it's another opportunity for us to expand our camera program. When we don't have the budget to provide them with all the neighborhoods, if some of the homeowners associations would like to do that, we can get our discount and offer that same service to them as well.
That's really good, Chief, because, there's one resident that, has a lot of problems with shootings and four-wheelers.
That's her homeowners association. That's already worked out. She's met with the vendor, came down, he signed a contract. Should be installed within 6 to 8 weeks, and then we'll be able to monitor those cameras 24/7 here at the PD.
Now, Chief, school starts first day, August 25th. Are we ready?
Yep, we're ready. Sure are. We have, well, unfortunately for us, but fortunately for her, Elizabeth Walker, the sergeant that was instrumental in getting that unit up and running last year. She's getting promoted to lieutenant. She'll be one of the new lieutenants. So she won't be within school. She'll be assigned to patrol, but we're replacing her with Robert Fields. He's going to be a sergeant SRO, excellent officer. So it'll be seamless. We're already up and running, and they've all gone through their training throughout the summer. So we're good to go. We're going to implement some a police cadet program this year with the high schools. So we're offering a selective police explorer program, but it's called Police Cadets for people 14 to 21. They can come and learn about being a police officer and work here at the PD. We had our first police department intern with Southview High School this year. She's finishing up. She's been with us for, I think, 4 or 5 weeks right now. She'll be finishing up right through the school year. So it was great. She got to work in all of our units. She's been learning.
Internships are very valuable.
Yeah.
Truly are. I'm glad to hear you say that. TCOs, we're good?
Yeah, I mean, that's a hard position to fill, because it's only 1 hour in the morning and 1 hour in the afternoons. Most folks want some more hours if they're looking for jobs, but we have most of the position filled, and the ones that we don't, our SROs are gonna cover the traffic at the school, so you won't notice any operational deficiencies.
Okay, final question, is there any resources that you need that,
That's a loaded question. No, we're plugging ahead, we're doing good, we're making great use of the asset forfeiture, funds. We're bringing back our bike patrol, that, they had the bike, so that should be up and running definitely by October. We started to do, thanks to our partners over at Fayetteville, field force training, for civil unrest. I guess years ago, the town purchased a lot of that gear, shields and the protective gear for the officers. It wasn't given out, it's given out now. Our officers are training with it. They all have their own gear. Fayetteville's been nice enough to schedule that. They have some certified instructors over there, so we've been working hand in hand with them. So we'll be able to, assist them or deal with anything. Hopefully we won't have to, but we'll be prepared to do it if we have to. We're holding an open house on October 6th at the PD. We'll be advertising for that tomorrow night. And that's going to be, I don't know if you saw the video, we released our first video the other day. A major initiative is called Professionalism and Improvement Through Transparency, Innovation, and holy cow. I'm drawing a blank because you threw so many questions at me here. Partnerships, holy cow, the most important one. Professionalism and improvement through transparency, innovation, and partnerships. And each week we're going to post a video. We did our introduction video. It's going to release honest and reliable information. The public will have opportunities to ask us questions. And October 6th, we're going to kick off an open house where all of our equipment will be on display. We'll be giving tours of the police department, showing them our real-time crime center that we did set up so they can see the capabilities we have to help them keep them safer, and all of that civil unrest gear will be out. A lot of the stuff, the bikes will be good to go. We're purchasing that with asset forfeiture. Community policing unit, we're using asset forfeiture stuff. We just bought a bouncy house for the kids for some of the events that we're holding, so we don't have to rely on somebody to get one for us. Just different initiatives that we're pushing forward with that keep giving the best service we can at the least expense of the taxpayers. That asset forfeiture is coming in handy, and for those who don't know what that is, that's proceeds that we're seizing from criminals that, drug dealers and stuff like that are awarded to us for our participation in the investigation, and it has to be used for police initiatives, and we put that right back into the community, so we're able to fund these programs at no cost to the budget or the taxpayers.
there's a budget amendment tonight on our agenda.
For a lot of those asset forfeitures. And that's just moving it out of the designated account into the town's account, so we can, because that, by law, that has to be kept in a separate account.
Any comments from the board? Commissioner Prater?
I had a call right before I came tonight. This lady wanted to know, is there an emergency number to the police station? She said every time she's called,
911.
well, that's what they told her, 911, but she said that would we ever have an emergency number that can be called right directly to our
Not for
police?
emergencies, not all emergencies have to go through 911. Once we open up 24/7, we'll have a general number that goes right to the lieutenants that's there, but that is not for emergencies. So they have to call for an actual police emergency, they have to call 911, because that's where the dispatch is.
That's what I told her, but I thought I would ask you since that was from you.
Absolutely.
Okay. Commissioner Squirrel?
It was funny, and Jason, I was talking with one of your City View counterparts. He was actually asking, we were talking about the SROs, and they were really impressed with, he was really impressed of how quickly we were able to fill the SRO positions. And, I was like, oh yeah, we were on top of it. When we had the issue, our town took care of it, and we filled them really, really quickly. And then my second question is, are you getting in the double tank?
Oh, no, that will not be.
No further questions, Mayor.
Okay. Chief tomorrow evening, is the swearing in for the Cumberland County Superintendent. And I'm sure that there'll be some questions about our SRO program. And it'll probably be a highlight of some of the conversation. And it's a time for your department to shine for the work that you've done this past year with our schools and the work that you're about to do when school opens up August 25th. I can't speak for the other municipalities, but we can speak for ours, and that's all because of your leadership as police chief. And I wanted to thank you for that. Thank you, sir. Mayor Pro Tem.
I would just like to thank you for the initiatives that you're doing for community outreach, and I would like to also thank you for all the work that you've done with the police department over the past several years for bringing us up to date for the 21st century when it comes to technology to help keep our citizens straight. I know a lot of times you all are beat up on, but I've really seen a lot of the work that you've done to help make this community safer, and I appreciate that.
Thank you. Well said. We've done a lot of amazing things in these past 2 years, haven't we?
Yes, sir.
We really, really have.
Yeah, yes.
All right, any other comments? All right, thanks, Chief. Next up, you know when the finance director comes to the mic. He's gonna either go want money. Okay.
Usually anytime I want money, it's not for me. Do we ever have a budget amendment for the finance department? It's for everybody else. And all these projects you're just talking about. Okay, so what we have this evening, we have received the ACFR award for our financial reporting again. This is the 6th year in a row. That is the Achievement in Certified Financial Reporting. It's a really big deal for the finance department. This is pretty much the only award we're able to get. So we apply for that every year. We were able to get it again. This year, we're in the midst of closing out last year. As of June 30th, 2025, we're getting everything ready for the auditors. They have not scheduled when they're coming yet this year, but they said let them know when I have it closed out. My goal is to always be closed out by Labor Day. So once the next month, this month is over, we'll get that scheduled. Auditors will come in. We'll get the financial statements ready, hopefully by the end of this calendar year, present it to y'all and LGC, and then apply for the award again. I couldn't get this done without the help from the rest of the finance department, and we have the Deputy Finance Director, Ricky Ramey. We have our Senior Accountant, Kelly Wall, and our Accounts Payable Clerk is Erica Hancock. So the 4 of us make everything happen, and we keep the finances great and wonderful for the town of Hope Mills.
Okay, Drew, how many years now in a row has this been?
This is 6 years
6 years.
in a row.
6 years in a row. That is just remarkable. How about an applause?
We have a great finance department here in the town of Hope Mills, and all of them do a very great job.
Ms. Dean, any comments from the board?
Again, I just went to a conference a couple of weeks ago, and just hearing some of the municipalities talk about how the LCG has had to bail them out, I was like, Drew would never. Drew would never. So again, bashed on a lot of wasteful spending and a lot of things, but I appreciate the work that you do. I don't take this for granted, especially since this has been the 6th year that we have received it. But best to believe, there are a lot of municipalities in North Carolina that do not receive this recognition.
Yeah.
So I appreciate the work that you do and keeping us straight, we asking something about where is that, where is it gonna come from, where is it budgeted at, and what line item is it coming from, and keeping our fund balance at a healthy state of where it needs to be. A lot of that goes back to you and the work that you do and your team, so I thank you.
All right, thank you very much. You're right. I do keep up with, I sent the manager an article last week for another town that's in dire cash.
Yeah, the
That's
town of
not
Benson.
cash issues.
The town of
Told him,
Benson, I read.
I'm not gonna ever let that happen, as long as I'm here.
This award is not handed out easily, it's earned. And for 6 years, your team has earned it,
Thank you.
continuously earned it. And the one thing that I want everybody to know is, when we get into the budget cycles like we've been doing the past couple of years, Drew was the first to tell us no. And he has the courage to say it. And and stand on it. And here's the result of taking that courage and leadership. That we're on sound financial footing in this town, not 1 year, 6 years ago. Again, I thank you, Drew.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Next up, Hope Mills Lake Park improvements. That's under tab 3. Marco, you got the next two?
I do.
Okay.
For this wonderful firm called the East Group, to get started, I just want to remind you all how we got here. On April 15, 2024, the board authorized the town to purchase 2 properties on Fountain Lane, and those are the 2 properties adjacent to Town Lake Park. And the purpose was to address shortage of parking and pedestrian circulation and vehicle circulation. And later on at the Priorities Luncheon, the board directed staff to move forward with the design phase for the parking lot improvements, and we also added playground improvements as part of the project. And so on January 23rd, 2025, the town entered into a contract with the East Group for survey work and for design services. We didn't go through the typical RFQ process because, as you all may know, we have the on-call list, and so we chose the East Group from the on-call list. And so I'm pleased to have the East Group here tonight. We have a history. Going back 15 years, we've worked together on projects, so I'm excited to have them work on a project in Hope Mills. I think you all will be pleased. And so tonight we have staff from the East Group to present some concepts for you, and then hopefully get some input from you all tonight on which direction we want to go.
Great. Good evening, everyone. My name is Andrew Harrell, and this is Colleen Bandel, landscape architect and landscape designer with the East Group. It's an honor to work on this project and have your time to talk about some of the concepts that we're working on. First, we have a presentation that we'll go through. So, let's make sure we get that configured. Here we go. So we'll go pretty quickly through this just so we have time for questions since you already had access to this. We're going to go through the critical success factors, the existing sites, and the concepts, and talk about next steps. So critical success factors, we'll also think of these as goals for the project. So the project will not be successful if these are not met. So as part of this project, we want to improve the parking circulation and access. We want to prioritize seamless pedestrian and vehicular traffic. We want to protect the environmental features. We know we have some significant vegetation on site and some areas of erosion concern. We want to enhance the play spaces since it's already a well-loved space. We want to enhance that. We want to increase the green space and tree coverage on the site. So this is just a reference image, just a plan view of the existing boat trailer and parking spaces, just so we can reference that in our proposed concept. So we have 2 boat trailer parking spaces, 3 standard ADA parking spaces, or 3 standard parking spaces, and 3 ADA parking spaces. So, thank you, 39. All right. Then with constraints and opportunities, some of the things that we're just kind of tracking and paying attention to as we create our designs is to maintain access to the boat ramp. We know that cars and trucks need to be able to easily drive up and around the boat ramp. We have a steep slope above the deck that's kind of close to that playground, kind of hinted at that before. The northernmost parcels are private property, so we want to be cognizant of that and respectful of our neighbors there. We have no current connection across Main Street. We know it's a busy street, and we want to provide that ability, future ability for pedestrians to cross that area. And we have limited ADA access throughout the site, so we want to look for ways to improve that. So as part of the next part of our presentation, I'm going to hand it over to Colleen to talk about the 3 design options we have.
I'll go through these fairly quickly so that we have time for questions. But essentially, this first page and view here was just how we thought through the design process, so I'm not going to spend too much time on that. I'll just jump right into the first design option here. We essentially are showing the parking lot to move over to the western side of the site here, northwest 29 standard spaces and 2 ADA spaces. This moves the playground to the front, or the south side of Big T's, so that it's very visible from the road, as you're driving in. However, we have, the boat access kind of wrapped around, and these would be done with vehicular pavers, and instead it would create, more of a pedestrian feel and a pedestrian-free flow through that area. You would have no other vehicular traffic other than if a boat comes to drop in their boat to the water. We have outdoor picnic seating all the way around Big T's, as well as lots of open space and green space for open play. The way that we're trying to mitigate those issues with erosion control is by having a couple of small retaining walls that could also be doubled as seat walls at the base here in front of your deck at the moment, and so that could allow people to sit and enjoy that view, but will also take care of some of that erosion control issues that you're seeing at the moment. These are just a little bit of a breakdown of kind of details of what this space could potentially include and look to have, including public art, beautiful play structures, potential for swing arbors. I know you have one out there currently, but maybe those can be moved or replaced, unsure at the time, or at the moment. Vehicular pavers, as well as what those seat walls could potentially look like, that will help with the erosion control issues. This was essentially just to show how boat traffic would move through the space. I'm just going to flip through this very quickly, but just to show how that would work, and that it does. So moving on here to design option 2. So this option brings the parking lot to the front, kind of similar to how it's set up currently. We've taken it down to the one entry point, similar to option 1, from that main road, but then also allowing access on Fountain Lane, I believe that is. This one allows for 4 boat trailer parking spaces, 35 standard spaces, and 2 ADA spaces. This opportunity with the boat trailer access, once again, vehicular pavers to allow more of that pedestrian free flow and to connect the park a little bit easier. But this option shows keeping the existing holly trees out there, so a few of those holly trees could remain. I know that's important. And so we would essentially be proposing to remove the existing brick that's around those holly trees and to replace that with something a little bit newer, a little bit nicer, but to keep those trees alive as much as possible. We may have to remove one of the trees from within I think there's 2 in each of those brick boxes. Yeah, exactly. So maybe one would need to be removed, but we would be able to keep that. This one also shows the potential to have a open pavilion potentially at the base. I'm not sure if that's something that the city or the town would be interested in, but we wanted to show a few options there. And the play structure gets moved to to the west, northwest of Big T's. Once again, easily accessible and easily viewable from the road. Here's another little view of what a couple of those spaces could look like. Some of the new things here is that open pavilion and the boxes around those holly trees. And then moving right along here to option 3. This one we played around with the idea of still having the parking lot on that northwest side. However, we now pulled the boat parking out of the parking lot itself and moved that down a bit to the south. This has been really helpful because it's allowed the most parking spaces out of all of the options so far. You still have 3 boat trailer parking spaces, but now you have 50 standard spaces and 2 ADA spaces. This would also allow a stormwater bioretention island within the center of the parking lot, which would obviously help with stormwater BMP issues to help clean that up. And then what I think this option does well is it pulls the playground kind of similar to where you have it now and just expands it a bit to the north side of Big T's. And in this case, you would be able to have quite a bit of a nice view from that park area. It would be completely fenced in, obviously as it is so close to the water. And that would also be on kind of a little bit of a retaining wall to help with that erosion control issue within that area. And then this option just shows kind of how public art could be used within that site, as well as that BUP option for the parking lot, and potential for just some nice sitting areas within the beautiful park here. And here's essentially where we're at now. We just want to gather as much feedback from you all, and we're going to consolidate those design options and be able to create something really wonderful for this town.
Not to put pressure on the board, but we did present these concepts to staff and the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board, and just for a tally of votes or direction, option 3 was chosen separately from the other groups. So just wanted to throw that out there as you all go through the concepts.
Marco. I would like the citizens to have the opportunity to weigh in. I mean, I appreciate everything that you guys have done with all 3 options. I appreciate that it's been run through staff and Parks and Rec Advisory. But I would like to ask the board if we could schedule a public input meeting where the public can look at all 3 of those options. And if you guys were available to be here together, that feedback as well. As a holistic view of which option really is the best option for our community. Is everybody in agreement with that? Okay.
I will say that for those purposes, we've already placed the presentation on Engage Hope Mills. So the PowerPoint presentation is available for the citizens with a link. But I will consult with the East Group and see when we might be able to get them back down to do a public input meeting with the citizens. And then we'll work on the schedule with the board to see what day works best for you all.
I think before we go final, let's have the public weigh in, depending on what your availability is. And then this will come back to the board for a final approval of which option. Is that fair enough? Commissioner Squirrel?
Also, is there a way you can do an online survey, Lamarco? That way, if they're unable to attend, we can gauge at least some interest of, hey, A, B, or C,
I get with staff and see what's the best way and consult with the East Group a little bit. I know you all probably got a survey before to kind of get input from the citizens. But yeah, we'll figure out a way to get the surveys out there.
Thank you.
Any other comments?
All 3 of these designs are good, or excellent. All 3 of these are excellent. I just want to say I don't like the one where the playground's near the main street because it's so dangerous. I like it better in the back. And on those planters, people in Hope Mills built those back in the late 70s. And at that time when we planted those holly trees, they said, oh, it's going to break open the planters. And I haven't seen that has been done. But let's talk about those planters before they're moved completely out. But other than that, everything else is beautiful.
Thank you for your thoughts.
Mayor Pro Tem?
The only question I had, and maybe difficult to do this, is there a way to do an estimate with the cost, like how much each design costs, maybe?
Yeah, I believe it was part of our this current contract is just to do a cost estimate of the final, the consolidated option.
I was asking for Drew.
Perhaps there's a range, maybe. Let's look at a range, if that's possible.
We can consider it, and we'll work with the Parks Department and see what's possible.
Okay, yeah, that would help us a little bit. You don't have to pinpoint it, but, give us a range. Any other comments? Okay,
I'll give a little bit of my input. I'm tossed up between 2 and 3. I like 2, only for the reason that the parking spots are right next to the playground, so if parents want to sit in their cars and watch the kids, they have that ability. Especially if it's hot outside. I know I don't want to be in the heat. I like that. I like the amount of parking spaces also on 3, so the struggle is real, but I like these. That's all.
Yeah, parking's a key premium. All 3 of these options. Okay, nothing else? We're good? We thank you very much. And Marco, you'll get back to us on the availability. And we'll work out that schedule, hopefully this month. We'll get together. All right, next item. Next item up is Independence Day Celebration 2026 and the special events calendar. There are no attachments. The 2 items that will be discussed by staff tonight, I'm sure Marco and both Megans will come up and talk about July 4th, 2026 fireworks display. I think July 4th is on a Saturday, am I right?
Yes,
Next year, and then there's a dog park presentation.
yes. And before the Megans do their presentation, I don't want to steal their thunder, but we presented this, the event schedule to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board, and we showed them the 4th of July presentation also. Similar to what we did last year, just to get their input. Unfortunately, we didn't have a quorum, so they weren't able to give us a yay or nay on the presentation, but we did at least want to present the schedule to them for the scheduled events along with the 4th of July. And the members that were there didn't have any issues, so I just want to say that. But tonight, staff's here to present 3 different options for 4th of July, and then they'll go through the entire event schedule for the fiscal year 25-26 year. Before they get to that, I want to make a couple things, want to cover a couple things. The first one, as far as the 4th of July fireworks, I just want to go on record to say there's never been a 10-year contract for fireworks. Never has been. There never has been a 5-year contract for fireworks with any company that we work with. This spans back more than 15 years. The most that any pyrotech company will do is a 3-year contract. And we haven't done a 3-year contract since I've been here. It's always been a year in advance. In fact, after tonight, staff really needs to get on the phone and work out the contracts, like literally tomorrow before the 4th of July. So with that, I'll let staff get a presentation and we'll take questions.
Marco, so the board will need to make a decision tonight.
Yes, as far as 4th of July.
And the calendar as well, right? We need to approve both?
Well, the calendar is just for information, but the 4th of July, we definitely need to figure out which way, which option you all want.
Sure.
3 tough options, so.
All right. We're going to decide on one of them. Okay.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners, thanks for letting us be here. We'll just go through real quick, kind of like a history. So these are the past dates that we had fireworks. Since I've been here, I was hired in 2018, so before that. But anyway, there's a little rundown, and just to touch on what Marco said, we've never had more than a 3-year contract. Our last 3-year contract ended in 2018. The pyrotechnic company that we use, we've been using since 2008, and they've never done more than a 3-year contract with any of their customers or clients. And since 2018, we've been on a 1-year contract, and most pyrotechnic companies will not do more than a 1-year contract now, just based on the unknowns of price and all of that. If you lose money if they set into a certain amount, so just.
And just to notate, we haven't had an Independence Day celebration on July 4th since 2018.
So like what Marco said, we were tasked with 3 different dates to present to you guys, and we really wanted to hone in on the cost of fireworks, the availability of the fireworks, and then also because it's a town-wide effort from all staff. So depending on the days, there's either overtime pay or regular pay. 2026 and 2027 are a little funky because July 4th falls on a weekend. So in 2026, Well, we'll just go with it, yeah.
Hold up, Mary.
So this is.
Actually, could we get the, dim the lights, so it can come out a little bit better? Yeah, thanks.
So this slide goes over June 27th. It would be the Saturday prior. That's kind of how it's been in the past 5 years. It is the cheapest day for fireworks as far as any company that we've contacted. Every company that we've contacted has been like, absolutely, we can do it. We can be there. Staff cost, it is regular pay. We listed roughly how many employees work that day. It's a joint effort between the Parks and Rec Department, the police department, and the fire department. And if we were to have the celebration on June 27th, the parade would still be on July 4th at 10 a.m.
And just keep in mind, June 27th is the farthest that's ever gonna be away from July 4th.
If we stick
So-
to the Saturday prior.
So instead of it, we're sticking to a date, we're sticking to a day, Saturday prior.
And the cost for this one?
So this one is regular pay for staff, so we're not looking at time and a half for overtime. And then this is just fireworks, so it doesn't include the stage, entertainment, or anything like that. But the majority of the companies, as you get closer, whether it is entertainment or fireworks, they go up in price. Entertainment does as well, so that's just things to keep in mind. So, but for this year, this is the only day, Saturday prior, that is not time and a half.
We'll go there.
Okay, all right, okay.
So the next date we were given was July 3rd. Typically, this would be just regular pay, but because the town observes the July 4th holiday on July 3rd, it would be time and a half for staff. And we met with police and fire multiple times to go through all these numbers and figure out really what it costs and what it takes for all the employees to be on board. And it's roughly $18,500 just in overtime pay for police and Parks and Rec.
Hey, so, July 3rd, that Friday would be a town observed
Yes.
holiday, just to make sure we're
Yes.
clear.
Only 2026.
Yeah, only in 2026. I see Leanne back there shaking her head, so she's got your back.
And then as you can tell, the closer we get, the prices go up a little bit, and fireworks as well, so. And the parade will still be on Saturday, July 4th. And then this year, or 2026, two of the fire attendant companies are not available. One being the same company that we've been using since 2008. And the Ghost Coast Pyrotechnics, that price is higher than Saturday, June 27th. That's only if we lock in a 3-year contract with them, for that date. So,
We also got that price and that date availability July 3rd. So there's not a guarantee that it's even still available.
in tariffs. So, all of these prices are a guesstimate. Tariffs, they're not quite sure what they'll be having to charge for fireworks, August, September. They said we'd have a better idea then. And I think that's one of the bigger reasons why they're only single-year contracts now, not being tied into 3-year contracts unless it's this Ghost Coast Pyrotechnics. But we'd have to use them for 3 years at $25,000 every July 4th. If we wanted to use them. In 2026, it's regular pay, but as you can see, 2028, 2029, 2030, 2031, 2033 would all be overtime pay because it would fall during the week and that would be when the town observes it. Also, that's our parade, so we're looking at, hours for employees increases a lot when we do it on July 4th. And we're looking at $23,000 just in overtime pay for staff.
Have it on that day.
To have it on July 4th. In 2027, July 4th falls on a Sunday, so if we were to lock in with Ghost Coast Pyrotechnics, then we would be having the event on Sunday, which means the parade during church, so that kind of brings up a whole other conversation to be had about how to go about scheduling the festivities for that day.
Mayor, if I could add something, could you guys go into detail about if we had it on the 4th, what would that schedule of the day look like? Because a lot of people may not realize we moved the parades to the morning time. So if we still had the parade in the morning, you can't shoot the fireworks to the evening. On the 4th, take us through that entire day schedule.
Yeah, I was gonna ask that question too.
So as far as the parade goes, we'll talk about that first. Parks and Rec staff's getting here about, it might start at 10, but Parks and Rec staff's getting here about 7 a.m. I'll get here at 6:30.
Not before.
Correct. Making sure that the lineup's getting all set up and ready to go and whatever have you. Police would come in probably 9 o'clock to do their brief and then close the road at 9:30. Parade would happen. Right after the parade, we would go into setting up for the festival. Police would go home, but they would need to come back for the evening festivities. Parks and Rec staff would be there the whole time. I know for this past year, myself and the maintenance staff were here until 11:30 p.m. So you're looking at a day from 6:30 a.m. to about 11:30 p.m. for Parks and Rec staff. Police-wise, they'd probably be here 9 to noon and then back at 5 to 11:30 p.m. So it's a lot of hours in a day as far as when you're thinking about overtime pay in the future.
Megan, what would happen in the park between 12 and 5?
Shut up.
Just shut up on.
Yeah, so for this past festival, staff, Parks and Rec staff got here at 11:30 to start that up.
Yeah, Ben, we're checking in 15 plus food trucks, we've got at least 15 vendors.
Stage setup, entertainment,
Sound check.
cutting to whatever vendors, so it would be set up.
So this could end up being a, 16-hour day?
Yeah.
To do it on
If that's
July
something you
4th.
guys think, we'll do it, but
This could be a 16-hour day
yeah.
with a substantial amount of additional cost.
Yeah.
That's unbudgeted. Want to make sure I got it all packaged.
Yeah, and like this doesn't include the stage is $7,000 a year. We're paying entertainment. That doesn't include the fees of what we pay for the petting zoo or anything like that. This is strictly just the firework cost and staff cost. Everything else is budgeted for.
So the cost we have now, what are we looking at? Because I know we budgeted fireworks.
The stage is 7, fireworks roughly 15, and how we have it set up now, the only time that anyone gets overtime pay is at the parade. Because we have it on July 4th, so it's a town of third holiday, so that's the only time that there would be overtime pay. However, there wouldn't be overtime pay in 2026 because it would fall on Saturday.
Right.
And then the same for the next year because it's on Sunday. So right now, it's really, you're looking at a difference of 23, 24,000. This doesn't include potential merit increases or additional staff hired or anything like that. This is just a real rough estimate of the average of time and a half per hour.
As well as fireworks, like I said, 2 companies already told us no. One being the one we worked with since 2008, and the one that did say potentially yes, we would have to sign a 3-year contract with them in order for them to even consider us.
Excuse me, I thought LaMarcus said that a company would not give us a 3-year contract.
The company we work with would not. The company that's available on the 4th will only take us as a client if we sign a 3-year longevity contract to get our business, but it's still a lot more expensive. It's about $10,000 more than what we're used to.
I just wanted to make sure that we could get, that y'all did say we could
We
get it.
can. Some companies offer it. Some companies offer it. A lot don't.
So for this company to do this, we got to engage in a 3-year contract.
Can I add something to that? We've never worked with Ghost Coast Power Technics, so we don't know what the quality is. So let's just say that we contract with them and they give us a bomb show or it's not as great as we had in years. That's the danger. That's the danger we get into when we go into different companies. We don't know what the level and the quality and what the whole display of the fireworks is going to be. We just don't know because we never worked with them.
And our celebration is a big, well-oiled machine. We kind of touched on what we do kind of throughout the day, but Bobby, our fire marshal, is a well-oiled machine with the pyrotechnics. I mean, it works out very well. So there's a lot of little things that we may not even be aware of that our fire marshal is taking care of with the pyrotechnic company. They have all the certifications, and I don't know, Bobby, if you want to touch on that, but I mean, I think that's a really good piece that we need to keep in mind moving forward
They've already been booked.
And they've got clients that are paying
Yeah.
$70,000, $80,000.
And they've got clients that's willing to pay extra just for the 250th birthday.
Yeah, one of the companies, they told us that one of their clients had a $30,000 budget and they tripled it to 90 for next year.
Okay?
So, and then, you know, we went with this, goes kind of pyrotechnics. The next question is, in 2027, what do we do? This is Sunday. And that's the main reason why we switched, when July 4th fell on a Sunday, or Saturday, I'm sorry, a Sunday, we moved it to July 3rd.
Yeah.
Because it fell on a Sunday.
And according to the town board meeting notes agenda on that day, that year, it was changed to avoid conflicts with worship services. That's what the board voted on.
I mean, we usually have a parade here in church.
Well, I don't think that's what we're gonna do. I don't think we're gonna have a parade here in church, and we're not gonna put off any fireworks Sunday night. And that's during church too, Sunday evening services.
So there's a few things that we want you all to consider when thinking about this choice. One being that it is the 250th anniversary, meaning that a lot of things are going to be more expensive. A lot of things are going to be, there's going to be a lot of competition, which is fine. The tariffs, we were told to expect 15 to 30% increases for next year. The amounts that we put in this budget reflect that, but we're not going to know for sure, so those might be more, might be a little less, we'll see. Holiday overtime pay is like the big one. Fiscally, I mean, our staff, it's really the police department's overtime budget that would kill. Consistency.
What is Saturday before?
It would be switched to the Saturday before. 2026, it would be on the 27th, but in 2027, it would be July 30th, based on the calendar. And again, those future dates. So if we do choose July 4th and we go with that company and sign a 3-year contract, we really have to consider what we're going to do in 2027 when they're on Sunday.
What companies are available that Friday, July 3rd?
All of them.
I think all of them, it's a little bit more expensive than it's going to be.
Even the one that we currently use.
Potentially. But that's overtime pay for this year. For 2026, it'll be overtime because that's only the town service holiday.
So they could do the 27th or the 3rd, but they cannot do the 4th.
Correct.
And then and these other two companies that could do the 4th require
Only
contracts.
one, and that's
Only
what we
one.
do with 3-year contract.
And it requires a contract.
I'm not sure if it's a little bit.
And I'm sure those costs will be escalating percentages over those 3 years. Councilman Gray?
Do you know what your head count was at the fireworks this year?
It's hard to say because everybody was surrounding the park as well, but I do know from, at least for myself, since I've been here, it was the biggest turnout that we've
By
had.
far. I mean, I would say easily, I don't know if you guys want to chime in, y'all might have better guesstimate, but I mean, I would say easily 3,000.
But it doesn't decrease the amount of people coming when you have the weekend before.
No, I think actually it makes the participation higher.
Okay, I'll cut it short. I'm gonna stick to the weekend before, only because if you go to July 3rd, you're already looking at $20,000 in overtime pay for staff alone. It's a $20,000 increase. So, if it's not decreasing participation, and people are still coming out to it, I am not in favor of paying possibly over $30,000 extra. Because, if you look at the difference between some of the companies, that's on the low end, and the overtime pay, we were potentially looking at about a $30,000 increase to have fireworks on the 4th of July or July 3rd. So that's just why.
There's another concern too. So this July 4th, when it's a week before, a lot of the towns don't have it. So God forbid we would have to get some extra officers to come in. I'd be able to call like Fayetteville and stuff. They'd be able to supply them. I know this year on July 4th, they called to see if I could give them some extra officers. But because we had the parade and things going on, I wasn't able to help them. So everybody's going to be strapped down on that one day. So the chance of me getting extra officers, if we were to need it for whatever reason, would be a lot less on the actual holiday than it would be before.
Okay? You know, like Commissioner Scarola, I'm a veteran as well. love to see fireworks on the 4th of July. It is our nation's birthday. It's our 250th birthday. And we are a community with a lot of veterans and families. But this is going to come at a cost. It truly is. Now, Fort Bragg, there's no question that Fort Bragg will probably have an outstanding fireworks show on Saturday night. There's no question about that. But I look at the cost, these are just my comments, and I'm sure board members have theirs. I look at the cost for 30 minutes and the resources that are involved in 30 minutes. Because that's all the show is now. 30 minutes, lights in the sky. Everybody goes home. It's a 16-hour day on July 4th. I don't like to be tied to contracts going forward because, you know, there's escalating costs, or can be. And then we're going to go with a company we've never worked with before. So you got two unknowns. And then you possibly add all this up. For 30 minutes, it will cost the town probably $50,000, which we could hire a code enforcement that we desperately need in this town for $50,000. I'm sure Drew will look at me and say, yeah.
It's close.
No, don't bring up trust. But, you know, you look at it, I mean, really, it's a conversation to have. It truly is. Because these companies have gamed this. They know. So the three choices you got is stay where we are on June 27th, Saturday prior, or Friday night, which is July 3rd, right? But that one's going to be at a higher cost, but not as much as July 4th, but it will be a higher cost with a different company. 3-year contract that we're going to be stuck with. Don't know what kind of show they put on, but we'll be stuck with them. And it'll cost us to breach a contract if they bring in a show in here that's not great.
And then 20% will be on Sunday.
Well, we're not doing something.
It will. If we chose to go with July 4th, we would have to. It would have to be the contract. It would be on a Sunday in 2027.
They wouldn't, no. But then, and then I want to say this before I'm not going to beat this up too much. For 2 years, we've been beat up by the public for not having fireworks on July 4th. I can name names and show posts, many of them on social media, who really beat us up because we don't have fireworks on July 4th. And I shouldn't have to say that. I really shouldn't. Because you look at the amount of money that goes into this and what that money can be repurposed. I come back to a code enforcement officer. I come back to an employee to work in Parks and Rec. I come back to someone that will work with Don Cisco in cleaning up our town in public works. I look at someone who will maintain our streets. I look for a police officer or a firefighter. I also look at funding recreational opportunities with another center down Gulf called T.J. Robinson Life Center. But that's not my decision. But I would like the public to know that that's the trade-off, that if we go with July 4th, if the board approves the July 4th, then those are the costs. You guys will deliver. I know that. Yeah, Drew's got the money. Yeah. No, we're shaking his head no. Thank God he doesn't work for the IRS.
I would like to make a comment too. I know that it is a point of contention with the date and fireworks. It is, we do it for every holiday. Easter, we celebrate the Saturday prior. Christmas events are the first weekend in December. Halloween is
Friday before. It's not abnormal for our night schedule to be like that. It is the only holiday that we do get a lot of pushback for, and it's not just us, it's anybody who doesn't have it on the fourth. It's a common feedback, poor guidance and feedback is asked here, so. It's just something to consider. I know it's July 4th, it's the Independence Day holiday. It doesn't have to be celebrated on July 4th. If that's what you want, we'll do that. We can do it.
I know, you need the resources and the money to do a 16-hour day, and I know you will, you'll do it. But I will say, whatever the board's decision is, tell the public why. Tell everyone why this decision was made the way it was, the way it's being made tonight. And I believe it's saving money for our town, I truly do. My heart's kind of torn because I do like to see fireworks on the 4th of July. But this year I may just have to drive up to Fort Bragg and do that.
Okay, well, there's a lot of places that do it important.
Because that money can be invested in our valued employees in this town. But that, I'm gonna stop there. I get passionate. Go ahead, Commissioner Squirrel. Get me off the hook.
I'll pick it up where you dropped it there, Mayor. I was beat up for the exact same stuff. The timeline you had, I was posting the same information, giving that to citizens, and then, they're like, calling us non-patriotic, we don't care about our country. I'm like, I served 20 years in the military, I would hope I care about my country enough. I've heard about the contracts, saying that there was contracts before, why don't we have contracts now? And I'm like, I wasn't tracking any contracts. I gave the timeline again of the last time we had it on the 4th was 2018. So I was getting beat up over this as well. And then when I try to explain to people, look at Fort Bragg. They're obviously very patriotic. They had their fireworks on the 20s, the same day we did ours. And this is, we can't make everyone happy. There's always a give and take. Is it worth the money to make people happy on a 4th? Or can we make people happy and fill another position of something that we need? It's a toss-up. We get hell either way. It's horrible. Yeah. So no matter what we choose, we're gonna get beat up. I anticipate it. It's fine. It is what it is.
Thank you, Commissioner Scarella. Are we at a decision point? Someone want to make a motion or a comment?
I would like to say one more thing, and I didn't know if Commissioner Legg or Marley had something to say, but fireworks doesn't make somebody patriotic. I'm not a veteran. I know people say that I'm a daughter of a veteran, a granddaughter of a veteran, niece. Almost my whole family has served, but fireworks doesn't make somebody patriotic. It's a lifestyle and values.
Right here.
So I don't think that has anything to do. It's nice to have it, you can have it, but I don't think that makes somebody unpatriotic because you don't have fireworks on the 4th of July.
We also will celebrate the 4th with a parade, and I don't know about y'all, but if you recognize that this past parade was the best yet. Had the most entries, lots of floats, people had a really good time.
Commissioner Graver?
I'm not for spending a lot of money on one day. If it's gonna cost us less on the 27th, then the town might hate me for saying this, but I'm gonna have to go with where we don't spend the money. My husband served 30 years in the military, so I am a veteran's widow. And I'm just as patriotic as anyone else. And what I do is at night, instead of coming out here when you do the fireworks, I can open my bedroom window and see them because I live that close over here. But again, I'm going to say, I'm going with the week ahead of time for the money.
I'll come back to you, Commissioner Legg.
Thank you, Madam. I look at this from the point of view that a lot of people want to celebrate July 4th with the fireworks in Hope Mills. I also am not in favor of spending a lot of money. And I don't wanna get beat up for it. I'm gonna say that I think that I'll leave it up to the Parks and Rec staff to make that decision. I'm sure they will make the right one. So I would vote to leave it up to our Parks and Rec staff to do what they need to do, if that's appropriate.
Commissioner Lake, they're gonna need a decision on the board on one of those 3 days. It's either June 27th, July 3rd, or July 4th. And if you're finished, I'm gonna ask Commissioner Marley if he's got something, and then Commissioner Scarola. Got anything, Commissioner Marley?
No, sir.
Then I'm gonna go to Commissioner Scarola. Okay?
Thank you.
And then we'll take action.
Just a quick comment, during the parade, someone along the side of, they were by Carly C's, yelled at me while we were stopped in traffic, "What happened to the fireworks at the lake?" And I'm like, can you talk on that, please?
Talk about it, I'm sorry.
Well, here was the confusion. Here is the confusion. Apparently, I heard from some of the staff that was at the lake. People were pulling up their lawn chairs July 4th at the lake, thinking there was gonna be fireworks at the lake.
I'm not sure why.
I don't know why. So, but
It has to do with the shell size and the appearance that we
Egress.
need, the egress.
Yeah, with the
There's a
fallout,
lot,
I mean,
there's a lot more laws and regulations.
And I tried to explain that, and again, I mean, they're gonna be meet up regardless, but I tried to explain that they can't go as high because of there's no parking down there, but people were.
park there to watch fireworks Saturday prior.
Well, even at, yes, Saturday prior, people were parking at Surge parking lot and watching them over at the field, so.
I mean, you can't even see parking spaces. Anywhere you go down Main Street, Rockfish Road, and I just want to say that, yes, there has been some pushback, but for all that pushback, we've probably gotten 100-fold more positive comments, experiences about and praising us for having it on a different day, so it allows other, families or whomever to do other things as well, go to Festival Park July 4th, so I
They
mean.
just wanna spend it with their family at home.
And then if it's at the lake, wouldn't that require additional staff, because then you have to have someone on the boat?
You can't do it, it's illegal.
There you go.
They changed regulations.
Bobby has spoken.
There you go, so it's legal, we can't do it, can't do it. I like that. Thank you, Bobby.
July 4th, next year, will be a 4-day weekend for Fort Bragg. Just so we factor that in, but I think we've debated this a good bit, discussed it a good bit.
I'd like to make a motion, Mayor.
Okay.
I'd like to make a motion that we, have our fireworks on June 27th, 2026.
We have a motion, do we have a second? We have a motion and we have a second to tell staff that we will do our fireworks show on June 27th, 2026. Any last discussion? Okay, all in favor? That is a unanimous vote. And that motion carries. You've got the direction to go into next year.
I just have one thing to say. You ladies can handle a parade better than anybody I've ever seen. The lineup, the day you have it is right on to you, and I just want to thank you for that.
Well, they do a lot more than just line up and parade.
Well, we're just gonna run.
Back at Christmas, it's Christmas, you just had your baby, and she was there and said, and this is what I come back.
She came back from maternity leave and I was like, all right.
Yes, thankfully Megan, paid it all, so I just came back and did it.
Good job, Nick.
Great presentation.
Now we're going through the schedule in a minute.
I got one more, I got the calendar
We'll
next.
do it real quick.
Okay.
These are basically the same every year.
9/11 tribute will be on 9/11, all the stage will be on the 20th of September. The fall community yard sale will be the following weekend, both Saturday and Sunday, or you don't have to do both days, you can choose to do Day luncheon will be, I believe we've put the date, I think it's 13th.
Any questions about these dates?
It's on the website.
What time, for the Christmas parade, lights,
5 p.m.
we're gonna hold it 5?
Yep. Nice and great.
I think it's getting bigger and better every year.
I
I think
tell you,
it
it
will
is.
look like.
Full
And
of lights.
we've gotten, we ran over a light tower, so we put it down on Main Street, before the CVS and stuff. We got some feedback after the first year that it was dark, after the parade, so we've gotten some light towers that we'll put up to help mitigate that.
The budget allowed us to purchase
Purchase.
these light towers, so we don't have to rent them anymore. They belong to us, and we can share with public works.
I think they're in the budget, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Keith's already ordered.
I remember.
This spring litter sweep and yard sale is to be determined. We usually partner with the stormwater department when they do their shred it and whatnot, so those dates will be decided when they can figure out the contract dates for those things. The Cotton Tail Trail will take place the Saturday prior to Easter on March 28th. Sunrise service will be on Easter Sunday. Trucks and stuff will be the first Saturday in May the 2nd. Memorial Day will be on May 25th, and the Independence Day kickoff celebration. We thought that you picked the
Yeah,
27th.
we thought we said Saturday fires. We went ahead and put that one in.
We're at our mind, man.
Any questions about the website?
Are there any of these events, are any of these going to be held at Heritage Park?
No, but this does not include, this is just what Parks and Rec does as far as like townwide events. There are some community more geared events that,
Might pop up throughout the year.
Yeah, I was just asking about these.
not,
All of these will be in the main park.
more, yeah, more or less. Trucks and stuff at the golf course.
Yeah. Other than the golf course, going after the golf course. Trucks.
Trucks and stuff, yeah. And
The
then,
only other things that is honestly, we may change a few locations depending on what the construction looks like for the lighting process.
Yeah.
for DOT, the parade.
That's kind of where I was going. Because that's gonna be, next year, that widening project is really gonna, compromise a lot of travel around town.
Yeah, we've got a couple of different parade routes.
I'd like one a minute, and Karen's in. So, HPC would like to do charter day. We haven't had a conversation about it. So, that's the one event, the one, town sponsored event, but we are partners. And that'll be held at, Heritage Park.
That's fair enough, that's where it should be held. Go ahead.
Can we get these slides, because I would like a printed out copy.
Yes.
Oh, you have some? Awesome. Yeah, 'cause I like to look at them.
Is that all you have? Commissioner Briggs?
All of these dates are for starting like January the 1st of 2026, right?
Starting September
July,
11th,
fiscal year.
2025.
Oh, okay, all right. All right, this, what do I know? Thanks.
Everything is good. That's the next thing. Okay, anything else? We thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next item. Now, this item 4. Nope. Oh, wait a minute, dog park, sorry. Can't leave out balloons.
I would really like to say I'm really glad that Rude does not work for the IRS.
Not a good one.
How you doing, Mark?
Just a really short.
His association was raised in a dog park. His association. No, seriously. This whole thing.
Good evening, everybody. How you doing? Coach from 38 As I mentioned a few months ago, I'd like to go ahead and erect a dog park here in Hope Mills. Few of the venues will we're just gonna try and plan that out a little bit more carefully in the future, but this is about 550 linear feet. On the right-hand side where the 64 feet runs by 40, that will be for the small dogs. But the entryway to that from the main gate will be able to separate them by itself, and the large dogs, that'll be that 145 linear feet run down to 110. The front is just only 60 because of the gate down there. Where you see that 40 linear feet, there'll be the Miss Sharon's Rainbow Bridge will be right there. Obviously, we don't want to put something commemorating animals where they use the bathroom. And next to that will be the stand with the plaque. The park will be dedicated to Canine Ranch, the former canine pass. We'll have a plaque and a stand there. It won't be separated off by another fence, but that's pretty much it. It's real simple. It's, we get to bring a really nice, good size dog park here. Everybody loves dogs. I mean, I haven't ran into a resident that has not. I've done a lot of Q&A with business owners and just residents down when I tried to look at Heritage Park, and got a lot of great feedback from that. And that's pretty much it. Just want to bring a good amenity to the township. There's two small ones that are right down here in the parking lot, but this will allow for a lot of more animals to be able to congregate in one area. Myself and the animal control officer, we talked about the soluble solutions that would go down to prevent communicable diseases amongst animals. And all the control measures are also brought up in one of the meetings. Once we get more of a solid grip on exactly what to use at a cost-effective thing that will not get into the water table, then that'll be done. But past that, any of your questions, that's all I got.
Where is this going to be?
Don't know yet. So it's the first option that I looked at, there was an easement issue. The second, there's a little bit of construction issue, and now I'm just going to table that I'm going to let it sit on ice, and once we find something that is agreeable one, that's when we'll move forward with. But myself and Parks and Rec are working on it.
If I could add to, Mo has been taking each one of these locations through plan review to make sure they're properly fit.
So this one, Coach Wood, so this is just a conceptual thought tonight that you just presented.
Yeah, so when I went to plan review, the second plan review, I attended with Commissioner Scroll was there. There was a great point brought up by Ms. Beth, where we don't want any of the excrement or any of the bacteria to flow into the creek at Heritage Park, which would be very bad. So I'll just table that for now and look at some areas. Without divulging too much, I have someone that potentially may give either me or the township some land just for this. So it's a very small piece of property. We'll move on. Anyway, Dr. McCray?
You thought about the golf course?
The thought has been brought up, it would be the ideal place to do it. As other things will be probably brought there, it would be great amenity to have that there as well. Heck, everybody walks their dogs around that already. I mean, this thing hasn't been a golf course for God knows how many years. It's more of a walking trail than anything else. So I would suggest it, but I think we need to let it sit on ice until probably December and come back to it around December time. Commissioner Swallow? The one good thing that I wouldn't say is there are a lot of businesses that really are contributing some money towards it, as the cost to me is in the ballpark of $15,000 to $18,000.
And so my concern, and I think I told you this when you came to plan review, was obviously if you were having it at Heritage Park, I don't want to hear dogs barking when I'm reflecting on my political career. And then you also got to figure even if you find your own land, put this on, and it gets given to the town, that's more staff we have to hire to clean up, because we have the struggle at parks that are not supposed to have dogs. Dog mess. So, it's like clean, that's more staff we have to hire.
To comment on that, there already are control measures and things in place now. I'm trying to work on having a couple of, I don't want to say rescues, but organizations that deal with animals see if they'll be able to give up volunteers, maybe 1 or 2 a weekend to come in and either police up behind the excrement or just make sure that nobody's bringing aggressive dogs in. And the animal control officer, his name is Paul, correct? He brought up a great point. You're going to have service animals there, and there need to be the standards held to. Are they wearing their vests? So, is this animal
And see, and ultimately,
adhering to what he's a service animal for?
well, and ultimately, okay, I'll play devil's advocate. You got a park, it's now part of the town of Hope Mills, it's now our land, whatever. You gotta pick up the mess. If someone gets bit on town property, we gotta deal with that too. If it's on your property and you're saying it's part of Hope Mills, but it's maybe yours, that's a lawsuit, wouldn't happen. I think it's I get what you wanna have. I think, maybe there would be some better, gosh, I don't know how to say it.
The same concerns you.
Yeah, the same concerns I had before, I think,
Over here with these two.
I mean,
I respect them.
I get you wanna do something nice for the town, but ultimately, we're gonna have to pay for it one way or another, so. There you go.
Fair enough.
Any other comments? Okay, thanks, Coach.
Thank you very much.
All right, next we move into item 4, public hearings. KCNG 00825, rezoning of 0.65 plus or minus acres and 0.55 plus or minus acres for total acreage of 1.2 plus or minus acreage from R6 residential district to C1B plan, local business district or more restricted zoning for the undeveloped area located at 3429 North Main Street and 0 Duncan Street, approximately 128 feet from the intersection of Davis Street and Duncan Street. REID 04144-626-18000 and 04144-6187-1000, submitted by Garner Assets LLC owners under tab 4.
Good evening. Today I'll be presenting KZNG 825. It's a rezoning to C1P Plan Local Business District. The Town of Hope Mills received a request to rezone 0.65 acres of land and 0.55 acres of land for a total acres of 1.2 acres from R6 residential to C1P Plan Local Business District with parcel identification number between 0414462618 and also 0414461871. The subject property is adjacent to Domino's, Main Street Conveniences and Tobacco, residential properties, and across the street is undeveloped commercial property with conditional zoning. Access will most likely come from North Main Street or possibly Duncan Street. The Cumberland County Joint Planning Board voted unanimously to recommend approval during the regularly scheduled meeting on June 17, 2025. And the Southwest Cumberland Land Use Plan calls for heavy commercial. This request does fall within the current guidelines of the Southwest Cumberland Land Use Plan. Also, it does complement the surrounding area nicely, as the other properties adjacent to the subject property are zoned C1P Plan Local Business District as well. The area across the street is being CZ, conditional zoning, and also O&I Plan Office of Institutional Use. And the properties behind the subject property are zoned residential. Here is an aerial view of the subject property and the surrounding area. Here it also says who the applicant and the owner of the property and the rezoning request and the total acreage. Here shows the utility that has access to water and sewage. And then here shows the zonings of the property and the surrounding properties around it. And then right here, this is the Southwest Cumberland Land Use Plan. It calls for heavy commercial, and this request is compliant with the Southwest Cumberland Land Use Plan. Here are some photographs to show the area and the surroundings around the area. And if there's no questions, I recommend the floor be open.
I'm gonna Z&G -00825. Is there anyone here that would like to speak? Oh, motion to. I was rolling. Do I have a motion to open public hearing?
Motion to open public hearing.
Second? All in favor? Public hearing is now open. Is there anyone here that's in favor of Z&G -00825?
Good evening, Board of Commissioners. My name is Lori Epler. I'm with Larry King and Associates in Fayetteville. The owner of this property has recommended and requested this rezoning application be put in. They have a prospective buyer for this property who would like to develop it. And he is also here. If you have any questions for he or me, we'll be willing to answer those.
Okay. All right. Any questions? None? Thank you. Is there anyone else here that wants to speak in favor of Z&G 008-25? Seeing no one else, is there anyone here? Wait a minute. Wants to speak in favor? Okay, Sal.
I don't know whether it's in favor or not, okay? I don't know what you're gonna build there. I mean, did they tell us what we're gonna build? What are you gonna build there?
Step up to the microphone.
Sally, we're not allowed to ask that.
What now?
We're not allowed to ask that, Sally.
I will add for a straight rezoning, we simply
I would like to have a straight answer from them about bills before, okay? I mean, if you want me to approve this thing, I need to know what they're gonna build there. Would that make sense to you? If it's gonna be built next to my home, I wanna know what's built there. I don't think that's asking too much from the citizens to know that. I guess there's some type of legal thing that you would tell me, that's the reason that you can't tell me what you're gonna build there.
Dan will weigh in.
Right, what's before the board tonight is the rezoning of the property, not what the ultimate project will be, but what the zoning of this property should be, which encompasses anything that could go under that new zoning. Because if you don't wanna consider just a specific project, you wanna consider anything that could possibly go there, because the planned project may or may not even happen. If you change the zoning, anything could go, anything that falls under that zoning category could go there. So what the board needs to consider in the rezoning is whether it should be zoned, to C1B, or should it be something different, not should this particular project go forward.
I will also add that there's a separate, completely separate process for the development, or the approval of the development of the property, which is the development review process. That's what would technically come after this. Before a straight rezoning, you're simply contemplating the request to rezone the property based on compliance with the Southwest Plan, zoning of adjacent properties, and things of that nature, which was presented to you this evening.
Well, I quite understand, but I do disagree with it, okay? I do not understand the mental capacity on this, that you're asking the town to accept something, and I know it is supposed to be under so many codes and stuff like this, but you're still not letting anyone know what's going on. I don't know whether there's any way to change or not, what's set in stone, but I'm not in favor. I can't believe it, to be honest. I mean, you're going to have to approve something also, and you have to know what we're going to put in there. Sure, you can deny it, but is that what we're going to have? Sorry about
Thank you,
that.
sir.
I just do not understand why I cannot know what is built here or what they're going to buy. Or you could even tell us who's going to buy it. You might, again, would know what was going to be built there, okay? I know you're not going to.
Ms. Fanny, if I may, we're just like you, we don't know what will be built there, but there's more steps in this process before we can build something there, or someone could build something there. So, I guess we'll find out the same day you do.
Thank you, Commissioner Lake. Commissioner Hall?
I'm pretty sure it's not a smoke shop. I'm pretty sure. Just throwing it out. But I'm pretty sure it's not one. Exactly.
opposed, motion carries. Moving on to item D, which is ZNG -009-25, rezoning of 27.4 plus minus acres from R5 CZ to C2P CZ Planned Service and Retail District with conditional zoning or more restrictive zoning for undeveloped area located 120 feet plus or minus from the southeast intersection of Walnut Beach Road, Rockfish Road, REIDs 949496187300, 949495199700, 9494863275000, and 9494765995000, submitted by Charles Maxwell, applicant, on behalf of Barbara M. Johnson, heirs, owners. That's under tab 5.
Town of Hopewell staff received a request to rezone 27.4 acres of land tied to the parcels that the mayor just called out. They would like to rezone it to C2P, CZ, which is Planned Service and Retail Zoning District with conditional zoning. Subject property is adjacent to undeveloped commercial property directly south of the Blue Lion Shopping Center and across the street from Jack Ritter High School. Access as shown on the provided site plan will be from Walnut Beach Road and from future internal streets that will be a part of the development. Cumberland County Joint Planning Board voted unanimously to recommend approval during the regularly scheduled meeting on June 17th. The Southwest Cumberland Land Use Plan calls for both office and institutional and medium density residential. This request does not fall within the current guidelines of the Southwest Cumberland Land Use Plan. However, it does complement the expected future plans for the surrounding area nicely. The purple area is what is shown, and the reason why there's so many parcel numbers that were read off is because this area has not been divided off yet, so it's sections of parcels. And as you can see, the Jack Ritt is to the left, Blue Lion is north, and then we've got Harmony at Hope Mills nearby, maybe increasing on Queen Street, and we have lots of undeveloped commercial land around it as well as residential. And here is showing the utilities that are nearby. There is already access to sewer at the north area, and then there's access to water and sewer also on Walnut Beach Road at the section directly behind the Blue Lion Shopping Center. And as you can see, it is directly next to a larger section that is C2P CZ already. So this is just requesting to change it over to match the rest of the property. And at this time, it does show the mix of the Southwest Land Use Plan where the medium density, just south of commercial, petty commercial, and then there's O9, mixed industrial. This is showing directly behind the Blue Lion Shopping Center, Walnut Beach Road. There's the Blue Lion Shopping Center right there. There's Jack's Road. There's another angle, and the Blue Lion Shopping Center. And she has some questions of me, I am happy to open the floor for
Have a motion to open public hearing?
Motion to open the public hearing.
Second. All in favor? Seeing none opposed, public hearing is now open. Is there anyone here that would like to speak in favor of ZNG-009-25? Yes, sir.
Good evening, my name is Chuck Maxwell, and, commissioners, Mayor, County Manager. We've been working on this for a long time, and, it's coming to fruition that one of the developers called me tonight. As you know, this last rezoning just came about recently. And the reason being, I can say tonight, is because Target wants it. That's the
speak in favor of ZNG-009-25?
Really, Mitchell, that is good news. That's what we need. Industry of that nature to generate the tax dollars so that we can save the citizens tax dollars. I support that 100%. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else want to speak in favor? ZNG-009-25. Is there anyone here that would oppose ZNG-009-25? Is there anyone here who wants to speak in opposition? ZNG-009-25. Seeing none? Second? All in favor? Seeing none opposed, public hearing is closed. Do we have an action on the board?
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion we approve ZNG-009-25 for the rezoning request for C2P Plan Service and Retail District with conditional zoning while inconsistent with the 2013 Southwest County Land Use Plan. Staff finds the request aligns with and complements anticipated future and existing developments in the immediate area. They also note the proposed development's economic and regional impact fits the long-term vision for the area to the immediate south. Approval of this rezoning is deemed reasonable and in the public interest because the requested district harmonizes with surrounding uses and zoning.
Have a motion, have a second. All in favor? Seeing none opposed, motion carries. Item C is the last one. ZNG-010-25, initial zoning of 0.75 plus or minus acres to CP Plan Commercial District within town limits and more restrictive zoning for the undeveloped area located at 141 Mississippi Drive, REID 042317024800, submitted by Don Broadwell and David Cashwell. Singwell South LLC owners, that's under tab 6.
Okay, lastly, we have an initial zoning in the CP Plan Commercial District, ZNG 1025. The Town of Hope Mills staff received a request for initially zone 0.75 acres of land to CP Plan Commercial District with parcel identification number that Mr. Mayor just read off. The subject property is adjacent to undeveloped commercial property as well as developed commercial property, zone CP, such as the Roof Mentors, Eagles Auto Detailing and Power Washing, R&R Refrigeration, Heating and AC, and Mentors Motorsports. The rear adjacent property is on M1P Plan Industrial District where the Frito Lay Distribution Center is located. Access will most likely come from Mississippi Drive. The Cumberland County Joint Planning Board voted unanimously to recommend approval during the regularly scheduled meeting on June 17, 2025. The Southwest Cumberland Land Use Plan calls for heavy commercial. This request does fall within the current guidelines of the Southwest Cumberland Land Use Plan. Here is an aerial view of the subject property that is in black with the green. Here, the surrounding area, you have the commercial property that's in the county. You have the undeveloped CP and CZ that was annexed into the city limits, town limits. And you also have undeveloped commercial, residential, and you see the three other distribution centers. Here you can see the applicant and the owner, Doug Rowe, the applicant on behalf of Don Broadwell and David Castro, Senior South. The request initially zoned to CP Plan Commercial District with acreage of 0.75. Here you can see they have access to water, but there's no sewage. And here is the current zoning of the surrounding properties, which is R6A County, CP County. You have the one that's in the blue that was annexed into the town, and that is also zone CP as well. You have M1P, Plan Industrial, and C3. Here shows the Southwest Cumberland Land Use Plan. It calls for heavy commercial, and this request is compliant. Here you have photos showing the area and surrounding areas, this subject property. And if there's not any questions, I recommend before we open the public hearing.
Have a motion to open public hearing?
Second.
Have a motion, have a second. All in favor? Seeing none opposed, Commissioner Lake, you approve public hearing?
Yes.
Okay. Motion carries. Public hearing is now open. Is there anyone here that would like to speak in favor of ZNG-01025? Anyone here like to speak in favor of ZNG-01025? Is there anyone here that would like to speak in opposition of ZNG-01025? Anyone here like to speak in opposition of ZNG-01025? Seeing none, motion to close the public hearing.
Motion to close.
Second?
Second.
Action by the board?
Well, I make a motion that we approve ZNG 010-25 for the initial zoning request of CP Plan Commercial District, and finds that this request is consistent with the Southwest Cumberland Land Use Plan 2013 designation. This property, the requested CP will complement the current and future vision of the town of Hope Mills. The economic and regional impact of the proposed development fits within the vision and long-term outlook of the area in regards to economic development viability. Approval of the request is reasonable and in the public interest because the district requested complements the development of adjacent parcels in the surrounding area.
Have a motion, have a second? Okay. Before I call for the vote, the motion to close public hearing was unanimous, by the way. Just wanted to back up and make sure I got that. Okay, all in favor? Seeing none opposed, motion carries. We thank you. Next item is item 5, public comments. I've got a sheet of names, but I think most of them are gone.
That's what I was gonna tell you. Karen Sarenson left and Michael Gillis.
No. So, really, did you have anything you wanted to say?
Absolutely.
Okay. You're next.
Matter of fact, y'all, you are the minutes to me.
Who else is here? Coach Mo? Yeah, he's here. And then, looks like Jennifer. Okay.
We hit the button. There you go.
You know the turn on automatic. But anyway, just, you didn't get it? Burley Mitchell, 4056 Williamville Luther Drive, Hotels. First, I just want to vote. Elected officials, town staff, town manager, and the citizens. I just want to take this time to say thanks to all the workers, employees of Hope Mills. They have been doing an amazing job. We don't see it, but it's being done. For those of you that have not paid attention, I think Mikey Hall's old house, I thought it was an abandoned house until they went there and cleaned it up. Just that small difference made an impact on Main Street. Takes time. Debbie Jones was so excited last week. She said, I can't believe it only took us all these years to get it done. We knew it was coming because I was zone chancellor when I was a commissioner. Dunn, Bruce says, hey, it's coming, really. And I was just typing up a memo to send to them a couple of weeks ago. And I said, something said, hold off on it. Bam, there it is. That was a deadly corner. So many people complained about losing tires there. So thank you all for getting that done. Every department in the town of Hope Mills has made a big difference. The citizens need to know what has been accomplished by all these departments. It's time for us to stop talking negative about this community, this town, and talk positive, because too much negativity is going on in this world right now. We don't need no more. So I'm asking the town to do what you call a P&P, a progressive performance report of how this town has progressed and performed over the past several years. The citizens need to see what's been done. Great things have happened here. Bullet ties or whatever you want to. But when I was out there in the contracting world, every year I had to do a performance report. I had to do a progressive report for the federal government to approve, determine whether or not we can get a new contract. This town has done an amazing job. These employees are doing great things. Everybody don't do a bad job in this town. Stop beating up the people. Say thank you sometime. Thank you for a job well done, because it is being done. Just because it takes a while, just because you don't see it being done, it is being done. Say thank you and be grateful for this town, because it's making progress and the performance is being shown the result. Thank you.
Thank you, Billy. Coach Monk.
My son will do. Today, really stole my thunder quite a bit, but I was going to basically read some of the same stuff. There's a lot of progress in this community, and it is going to continue to progress as the volume of residents increase. There's going to be a lot more personnel of a lot more backgrounds. It's not the old Hope Mills everybody's used to. Tonight we hosted Parks and Rec, not we, excuse me. They hosted the football draft, maximum members in the last 7 years. There's 3 flag teams, 2 10U tackle, 1 12U tackle, and we filled those rosters to the brim. As that was going on, the entire building was packed full of an event, or some kind of rental of some sort. Soccer has taken over fall baseball with over 1,000 participants. Fall baseball is creeping into almost 1,200, 1,300 athletes. As great as it's doing, we need to grow a little bit more in physical space. So I please ask you, when you guys do decide to make that vote on the new stadium, if it's coming, I'm going to say when it's coming, not if. We really, really would like that to make that a smooth transition. I understand a lot of people love the previous amenities that were here, but those amenities are not being used to the maximum potential that it could be. On the flip side of this, y'all are doing a phenomenal job, yet you're getting beat up by some keyboard warriors on a social media platform that no one pays attention to anymore. Facebook is a thing of the past. I mean, if they were on Reddit, Snapchat, potentially Instagram, that'd be one thing. You know, it was said earlier when Chief Dodger took over, however many years ago, there was some issues in the park, there were some issues in the community. Crime is down, more than 3. I would be closer. I would be more. I think that it's closer to 5%. All right, I'm a statistics guy, but I really haven't gone through the results of the last 2 years. I took a 3-year hiatus. However, you know, fire, your call volume is going to go up as the residents increase, but they do a great job of prevention, teaching the community what to do and how to mitigate things, and their response times are a lot better. When it comes down to a potential substation that's needed on Legion Road, I ask that you vote. Put that in, please. And then Parks and Rec is just flourishing. So, y'all are doing great. Don't worry about the keyboard warriors that don't show up to the events that they're bashing you on because they don't show up and they sit behind a computer and just, and that's all they're good for at the end of the day. God bless the 82nd.
Airborne. Thank you, Coach Mo.
You're welcome.
Last, I think it's Jennifer Henson.
She also left.
She also left, okay. All right. Really, Coach Mo, thanks for your comments. I go back to say, at that ribbon cutting today, there are over 50 people that have jobs that live locally because that company chose to come to Oak Mills. That is an investment in our community.
Mayor, I've got one thing that's very important. If you don't mind.
Be quick.
The 12U, the baseball team in our community, they do an amazing job. And every year they have the same issues, fundraising. I want to challenge them to reach out to me so I can partner with them to start fundraising so that we can stop this, so that it'll be ready to go every time they win.
Thank you.
Mayor, if I could chime in, I'll add gritty to the committee because we met with Coach Mo and Mr. Morrison and Maxie and the coach of the team, girls team, to start talking about a year's worth of partnerships with the town. I think it'd be great if we had a car wash and it's kids washing cars and it's back here. So I think we as a municipality can partner with them to do a series of fundraisers. We do have the policy that caps a certain amount we can give every year, but I do think we can do a little heavy lifting throughout the year to help them with fundraising. And we've already had that conversation.
You know, and one of those ideas would be when we have our town events, like the shredding day, and we can have it in conjunction with that event as well. That's an excellent opportunity. Okay, we're on to item 6, consent agenda. Do I have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve items A through F in the consent agenda.
Have a second? Any discussion? All in favor? Well, we're coming up on new business. Hang on. Let me get this. Seeing none opposed, motion carries. Consent agenda is approved. Everybody want, next item is item 7, old business. Again, we have none. Works out well. Then we're gonna come to new business. Would everybody like to take 5, or can we just zip through it?
I'll be quick.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I got a bunch of new comic books on.
I think we had talked yet.
Is it funny?
All right, we're back to item 8. New business, item A, consideration approval of budget amendment number 36 in the amount of $150,000. That's under tab 13. All right, Greg.
Okay, this goes with, last year's budget that we're closing out right now. These are some things that I noticed in closing out that were never budgeted during the year. So we need to do a budget amendment to cover them. Just go through real quick what they involve. The contract services, that includes the grant, amount for Ingrid, for Wyatt O'Brien, Whit O'Brien invoices, and also, to Ashley Anderson for the strategic plan. Makes up that $60,000. Insurance and fuel is for the police department. I don't know if you realized over the past year with start the SROs and other positions that we added, we doubled the fleet of the police department. So we had to increase, all those vehicles had to be insured, so we had to increase insurance, and then fuel, of course, obviously doubled with more vehicles on the road. And then the chapel expenses, what that is, originally I thought it was maintenance, but once I looked into it, it is actually the Wi-Fi and utility bill for the chapel. Once that was opened up, we never budgeted for utilities and things of that nature for the chapel building, so that's what the $9,000 is for. We do have budget funds in there for the current year, but we did not budget any last year since it was when it was first getting started. So that is the budget amendment that we need to have approved tonight.
Thank you, Drew. Any comments from the board?
I'll make a motion, we approve budget amendment number 36 in the amount of $150,000.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. All in favor? Seeing none opposed? Motion carries. Item B is next, consideration and approval of budget amendment number 1 in the amount of $15,700, and that's under tab 14.
Okay, this budget amendment is for the new year, and if the chief wants to come, he can. This is used in, drug forfeiture funds to be utilized for several different things. There's a computer being purchased, and there's also refurbishing the civil unrest equipment, buying some new equipment. I think the bicycle, vehicles are in here, and moving the Connex boxes from the golf course to the police department. So if there's any question about that, this is what we discussed earlier about using the drug forfeiture funds to cover some of the police expenses.
Drew, is this covering items that was approved in the budget?
No, these are all things outside of, that's why there is the budget amendment. These are all things that are not budgeted. And in order to use the funds, since it's restricted and not budgeted, anytime we spend those funds, they have to come through as a budget amendment and approved by council.
All right, go
And
ahead.
I make the motion that we, accept budget amendment for one in the amount of $15,700.
We have a motion, we have a second, all in favor? Seeing none opposed, motion carries. Item C.
Mayor, excuse me, I didn't catch the second. Oh, Commissioner.
Commissioner Craig. Commissioner Craig.
Thank you.
Item C, nomination appointment of Kristen Walkinshaw to the Hope Mills Prime Movers and Appearance Commission, that's under tab 15.
Mayor, I'd like to make the motion that we appoint Kristen Walkinshaw to the Hope Mills Prime Movers and the Appearance Commission, and we will be glad to have her with the Hope Mills Prime Movers and the Appearance Commission.
Motion, Commissioner Craig, second. All in favor? Seeing none opposed, motion carries. Congratulations, Kristen. Welcome to both of our committees, Prime Movers and Appearance. Item D, non-voting liaison appointment of an elected official to the Fayetteville Cumberland County Continuum of Care Board of Directors. I think there was a letter. Everybody has a letter. So, do we have any discussion on an appointment of an elected official? Anybody want to volunteer?
Well, it's for the continuum of care on homelessness, right? So, should we appoint Commissioner Craven?
Do you accept? Accept the appointment, Commissioner Craven? All in, do I have a motion? I have a second. Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. All in favor? Seeing none opposed, motion carries. Congratulations. Item E, non-voting liaison appointment of a representative of the Hope Mills Economic Development Committee to the Fayetteville Cumberland County Continuum of Care Board. So that's probably gonna be you, Chancellor. I mean, that's gonna be you to make a recommendation.
You want me to recommend myself? I have a great relationship with them, Continuum of Care. I'll be honored if that would be something that you guys would accept.
Make a motion with one town mayor.
Second? All in favor? Seeing none opposed, congratulations, Chancellor. Before we get to the closed session, Chancellor, I was gonna ask Lamarco something, but he left. Since the board has agreed to June 27th for the fireworks, is this maybe an opportune time to look at what a 3-year contract would look like?
At the pleasure of the board, we'll look into whatever you guys need to.
With the board, consensus of the board, let's look at a 3-year contract with this company and see if we get a better deal.
And the thing is, and I commend them for how thorough the presentation was. They looked at the next 3 years' dates, but I don't think we were doing it in the vein of executing a long-term deal with the current company we have a relationship with. We were just trying to crunch numbers. So that's something they can probably put together.
Would the board support that?
Yes.
Looking at the current company we have now, since both Megan and Lamarco is gonna reach out to them tomorrow,
Yeah.
this would be the opportunity to start that narrative.
And we may be able to negotiate a better deal because we do have a long-term relationship with them.
Are they the same ones we've been from South Carolina?
Yes, that's the
Same
thing.
one.
Yeah.
Now's the time to do this. Now is the time to do it.
I just want to know, in the past.
Use your mic, please.
I thought I spoke earlier. In the past, what did we do on July 4th? I remember having fireworks back then, but I know when I out of town and I was gone for like 25 years that I didn't know what was actually going on in the town. Have you always, or is this just something that's just happened?
There have been quite a few changes over the years. Many people recall there was a long-standing history of them being shot at the lake. A lot of people may not remember there was an explosion in Ocracoke Island that was so severe it changed the entire fire code, which is why the current regulations are in place. I don't remember them ever being shot on the floor personally, but like Commissioner Scarola indicated, ever since 2018, we've been doing them this way. And I do think and there have been some changes. We used to actually start a parade at Baldwin Elementary and come this way, but we started hearing complaints from parents or people in the band having to march up the hill at Carly C's. We used to have the parades at 1 o'clock to end right at the fireworks, but you're in the heat of the day during that time, which is why we moved into 10 o'clock that morning. So there have been over the years some changes to massage it, and I will say it appears that Parks and Recreation currently has a method to the madness, and they have a system that appears to work very well. And it's the main reason why I trust their judgment. If they're coming to me telling me, look, Chancellor, this is the best approach that I think we can take, I think that's what's happening, and it tells us how we arrived to where we are now. I do know over the years there have been a lot of changes, but ever since 2019, this system that they have appears to be working pretty well.
I know back when I first moved here, I'm gonna give you a little history of the fireworks. When I first moved here back in '73, Gary Dove came to me, Max's dad, and taught me into going on the Parks and Recreation Committee, and I did. Back then, the town did not have any money for fireworks at all. So we got together and had the first Miss 4th of July beauty pageant and raised enough money to pay for the fireworks and buy Christmas decorations to go down the street. And that's when it started. We did the fireworks over the bridge at the lake. And I don't know what year that stopped, but that's the history of the fireworks in it when they first came into town and how they evolved.
Okay.
I remember those days, wasn't it, Trevor?
Well, thank you very much. We have next item is closed session.
Mayor, I'd like to move to conduct a closed session pursuant to NCGS 14338C11A3 to consult with the attorney on matters within the attorney-client privilege.
Second? All in favor? Okay, motion carries. We'll go into closed session briefly. We're back from our closed session.
I'd like to make a motion to seal the minutes of the closed session to such time as the release of the hold on, do we want to go back out of closed session? Yeah.
We got to. Okay. All right, motion to return. Motion second, all in favor? Everybody in agreement, unopposed, motion carries. Now we go.
Okay, now I make the motion to move to seal the minutes of the closed session to such time as the release of the information will no longer frustrate the purpose of the closed session, further no action was taken.
Second? All in favor? Seeing none opposed, motion carries. Last item is informational items about all the committees that's coming up, and those are all left there for everyone to read. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Okay, second? We are adjourned. Thank you very much for hanging out with us.